Welcome back to True Assassins.
Yeah.
Every day we bring you a new epic dose of true crime.
Yes.
Delving into the lives and deaths of history's most notorious assassins and hitmen. I'm Adrian Smith.
And I'm Julia Jones.
And we're uncovering these real-life stories that are more addictive
They really are.
than any fictional thriller.
Oh, yeah. Way more addictive.
We'll explore the dark side of history, but always try to keep it fun.
Of course.
Because, let's face it, the truth can be stranger.
Absolutely.
And more entertaining than fiction.
Definitely.
So hit that rate button, follow the show, and get ready for another wild ride.
Today we are diving into the legend of a figure who embodied terror? The Hashashin. Oh, yeah. Even just saying that name
It's scary.
sends chills down your spine.
For sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah. This wasn't just any killer.
No.
This guy was infamous for turning death into a horrifying spectacle. We're talking drawn-out torture victims suffering for days.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like he was composing a symphony of pain.
Well, and it's important to remember
Yeah.
that the Hashashin wasn't actually just one person. It was a whole group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a secretive Islamic sect in Persia, and they were known for their stealth and their ruthlessness. And their name actually comes from the word hashish.
Oh, wow.
And there are all of these stories
What's up?
about them using drugs to enhance their training or even manipulate recruits.
So their reputation wasn't just hype.
No, not at all.
These guys were masters of psychological warfare.
Exactly. They cultivated this aura of fear that was as effective as any weapon. I mean, just think about it. If your enemies believe you are capable of unimaginable cruelty, they're already halfway to being defeated.
And it sounds like this particular Hashash
Right.
we're talking about today set his sights on the biggest target imaginable. Alexander the Great, the guy who conquered most of the known world by the time he was 30.
Right. Now, historians debate whether this particular story is fact or legend, but
Sure.
the idea of a lone assassin taking on Alexander perfectly captures that fear that surrounded the Hashashin.
Oh, yeah.
They were seen as unstoppable,
Yeah.
capable of infiltrating even the most heavily guarded fortress.
So how did this legendary showdown supposedly go down?
Well, according to the stories, the Hashashin infiltrated Alexander's camp, moving like a shadow, always one step ahead of the guards, and he just waited patiently for that perfect opportunity to strike.
But even the best laid plans can go wrong, right?
Oh, absolutely. One misstep, a twig snapping underfoot, and suddenly Alexander's guards are on high alert. And they say that the Hashashin put up an incredible fight.
Wow.
But he was ultimately overwhelmed.
And then he's brought before Alexander, disarmed and bound. So what happened next?
Well, this is where the story gets really interesting.
Okay.
Instead of immediately executing the assassin,
Yeah.
Alexander decides to turn the tables. He knew of the Hashashin's reputation for inflicting pain, and he chose to use that against him.
Talk about an ironic punishment. He basically condemned the Hashashin to experience the fear and suffering that he had inflicted on so many others.
Precisely. And the stories don't hold back on the details.
Oh, no.
We're talking flaying broken bones, even poisoning with the same toxins that the Hashashin himself used. They say his screams echoed throughout the camp for days.
It is a brutal story.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it raises some questions, too. Was Alexander simply indulging in revenge, or was there maybe a deeper strategy at play?
That's a great point. By making this public spectacle of the Hashashin's suffering,
Yeah.
Alexander was sending a message not just to potential assassins, but to anyone who dared to defy him. He was demonstrating the ultimate consequences of challenging his power.
So the Hashashin ultimately became a victim of his own cruelty.
It really is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
About the cyclical nature of violence and how it can ultimately consume those who wield it.
What stands out to you about this story?
I think for me, it's the psychological aspect.
Yeah.
The way that Hashashin used fear as a weapon and then how Alexander just turned that fear right back on him. It's this reminder that power can be a double-edged sword.
I completely agree. And it leaves us with some pretty thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
Did Alexander's actions truly deter future assassins? Or did they inspire maybe new forms of resistance?
It's something to ponder.
It really is. And that's it for this episode of True Assassins.
Make sure to rate, review, and follow the show for more stories from the dark side of history.
Until next time, stay curious and sleep tight.